Okay, everybody, it's been a long time coming, but finally it's time to take a look at the robot Damashii Gouf custom. And if I sound depressed, you know, that's only because when I got this figure, or before I even got the figure, I want to say like way back when it was announced, I had such high hopes. And then when I started seeing everybody's you know, little take on it and reviews, I started seeing all the problems that are just running rampant with this figure. I mean, it's insane. But in any case, I still got it. I was hoping for the best, thinking maybe, you know, something was just wrong with their figure and not the one I would get. But it didn't turn out that way, and so now you guys are going to take a look at that, and let's start with the review with I don't know, let's start with articulation, shall we? Articulation is no problem with this figure. In fact, it's some of the best I've seen on a Damashii. You'll get double joints in the elbow and in the knee. You can bend that far up. So pretty good there. The skirt armor does move separately, so that's good if you want to do a nice little high kick. You can kick out about that high. Pretty good. Any higher, it's just being really silly. Now you get to see some of the problems. It's okay, we'll put that back on if I can. Can you go back on camera? There we go. Okay, arms can move out about that far out until you have to move the armor on the shoulder. Then it can be that far out. Of course, you're gonna have to put this armor way back. Oh, see, there it goes again. Another reason why this figure is very, very complicated. Anyways, let's just take it off. 360 all around, even with the shoulder armor on. The head is on a ball joint as well. Oh, it's not wanting to do it. There we go. Head is on a ball joint as well and can move around. It can go 360. I don't do it just because it's kind of a struggle. But yeah, it can. Ball joint in the torso, and as you can see, it can bend back about that much. So it can move all sorts of ways. Hands are on a ball joint. Can move all sorts of ways them too. Ankles, ball joints. No articulation in the feet, that's too bad. But that's okay, I guess, too. Let's see, the thrusters on the back don't move. And that's about it. Other than that, this is pretty basic articulation for any robot Damashii. Also part of the articulation is the mono eye movement. Very simple procedure. Ooh, you just take the brain cap off right there. I'm just kidding. The antenna comes off, and you can actually, where is it? It's hard to do behind or in front of the Gouf, but in any case, yeah, he can move his eye, as you can see, right there. You can move it all sorts of ways. And when you're done, you just put the antenna back on. Unfortunately, there's no lever or switch or dial or anything like that to control the mono eye. But hey, that's no problem for me. You know, I'm not really big on that, so it would just probably take away from the overall look. It's now time for probably the part you guys want to see the most, and that's showing off the accessories. And this guy, when they're broken down, you get quite a few of them. But for the most part, they're intact. But let's go ahead and start. Anyways, of course, like any good Gundam fan knows, the Gouf Custom comes with an extending electrical cable, whatever it's called, that can attach to the forearm on the right hand, or sorry, right arm. This piece comes off, and then you can pop this part on. Simple peg system. It doesn't come off too easily, unlike all its other parts, so that's a good thing. And this is a bendy wire. It can flex around and bend all sorts of ways. You get two Gatling machine gun shields, which also come with a sword. You get two of these little unextended swords, and then two of the hand machine guns. Or they're not hand machine guns, but little machine guns that go in the forearm of each hand. So you get two of these as well. For hands, besides the fists that you see on the Gouf Custom, you'll get two sword holding hands. Oops. I'll make sure I don't drop them right there. And then two of these large, ginormous open palms. And I mean, these are just huge. Really, really huge. I don't like this at all. But you'll hear about that in the last part of the video. Last thing you get is, of course, an active heat sort. Now, why they only give you one instead of two, I don't know. They really should have done something about that, but you only get one of these, so no dual wielding here. And here's the Gouf with the Gatling machine gun shield. Looks very much, well, as close as it's going to get to the OVA Gouf Custom that we know and love. All in all, it does look pretty good when it's a single version, and I'm not really going to try to put them both on because it was a hassle just to take that one picture that you guys saw in the opening credits. But now let's go ahead and break down the shield and show the gimmicks of this thing. So of course I already showed you this little piece right here, the machine gun, the 3-barrel machine gun that goes over the forearm of the Gouf Custom. Articulation in that, pretty simple. This little flap moves and this little flap moves. There's a peg right here in the middle that fits into the forearm. The shield, the Gatling barrel can move, and the handle can move as well. I guess I should have put this part in with the articulation, but I wanted to show the guns off first on the Gouf. And then of course there's a little hole or peg right here, and there's a hole, oops, right here next to the ammo clip, and just simply, whoops, can I do it without stopping the camera? There we go, and it simply pops into place. The sword here in its deactive mode can not really comfortably fit in there, but it does go into the shield like in the TV or on the show. It does come out pretty easily, so it's pretty loose in there. The simple breakdown of the shield, and as you can see it's already flopping around, is very, very complicated. In fact, this was the selling point of this new fangled technology that Bandai wanted to present with these figures, which was the hardpoint action. Hardpoint actions were just little holes all over the action figure, allowing you to attach all sorts of different parts or parts of the guns onto the figure himself, changing the figure completely. So as you can see, I'm taking the shield and the Gatling gun apart. Whoops, there you go, there's a handle, ammo clip, there's the cover, I guess you can say, little brace or attachment. This part comes off too, and you actually put this part back on just to feature or show off the shield. So this doesn't have any articulation. The shield itself, when it's on the Gouf by itself, all it stays in with is just this one peg hole, or a peg, and gets put into a simple hole. Because as you can see, and let me grab the camera, when you have these many parts being able to come off one single thing, it just becomes very, very difficult to keep it all together when you want it to stay together. And it's so stupid that Bandai did this. In fact, it's so stupid that they even noticed it themselves. And since then they haven't done anything like this, thank God. They only did it with the Zaku and the Gouf, which came out around the same time. So I'm pretty sure that this is the last time we're going to see anything like this. Now, for those of you who think that the Hardpoint System and me, you know, ragging on it is a little much, let me just show you how far Bandai went with this figure and this Hardpoint System. Now, you can already see there's a hole right there. There's a hole right there. There's a hole in the back. There's places on the back of the skirt armor. Same places on this arm. Holes right there. Oops. Hole right there. A hole right there. Hole on the inside. Inside. Hole right there. Now, that's not it. And you can also, of course, take this part off. You got a hole right there. These are intended to be used for the Hardpoint System as well, the shoulders. These come off for some odd reason on both shoulder armor. The knees come off, and there's holes right there. These come off, these little vents. Essentially, I'm just stripping down what is supposed to be, yeah, So that's all the free space you can use for the Hardpoint system. Now that would be great. It would be great. I mean, but when you have these many pieces that come off the fucking figure, it makes it so hard to have it all stay together. It really does. And does that make up, I mean, does this make up for it? Let me show you guys. I saw this in a picture once, where, if I can get it on there. I saw this in a picture once, in a promo for this Hardpoint system bullshit. Does having Gatling barrel, you know, knees cover this? I don't think so. Makes me very unhappy. Tisk tisk, Bandai. I've gone ahead and turned the Gouf Custom back into a badass looking melee mobile suit, and it's time for my final thoughts. And you know, it really sucks when you see that Bandai announces that they're going to make a mobile suit that you absolutely love into a robot Damashii, get just completely thrashed and used for, you know, trying out new things. I was really expecting a lot of great things from this figure. I was expecting, you know, for it to look a lot like the OVA Gouf Custom, more so than the original MSIA figure. I was hoping for, you know, great articulation, just overall, just great things. And when we get a figure like this, where, you know, there's holes all over it, stuff comes off, and guns don't want to stay together, you know, it just makes it really, really sad. Overall, it's, oh boy, you know, it's one of those figures, and I hate to say this, you're gonna if you want it to be tolerable, when you wanna, if you're, you know, the kind of person who plays around with their figures, you're gonna have to super glue some stuff together, namely the shoulders and the knees. Now, I'm a collector who likes to play with his figures, but I also like to be able to put them away properly. Like, you know, I save the box and everything, and when you have to super glue everything, that ruins it, because you can't put it back in the package originally, and it won't be safe and secure and all that stuff. Now, call me crazy, but I'm just not, I don't think, you know, any collector really likes to do that. And I just think it just messes up the figure whenever you have to. But in any case, but that's not saying that some collectors don't. I know a few that do, like Joshua or Brendan. He does that, which is fine with, you know, MSIA. But for the amount you pay with the robot Damashii, you should not have to at all. And with that being said, I paid around 35 bucks for this figure, and that's pretty much the price to pay for this figure anywhere. And I really think people are getting kind of robbed. I don't think this figure is that popular. It's always in stock at websites and on eBay. I would actually try and get this guy for around 25, you know, so 10 bucks less. It's not a great figure. It's not a perfect figure. If they ever make the Easy 8 or any other type of Gundam or mobile suit from the 08th MS team, OVA, then yeah, it's a great figure to have to fit in with that. But overall, this figure sucks. It's a bad figure, and you know, it's fat. It's not. That's another thing. The way they stylize this figure is horrible. It's so chunky and fat, and it just doesn't look right. And I wish I had my MSIA Gouf to compare it to, but it's put away. So overall, I would have to say this is a pass. You know, definitely pass on this figure. Unless you're motivated, if something comes out to where, you know, this fits in well, then say go ahead and get it, but try and get it super cheap, because it's not worth 35 bucks at all. So unfortunately, like I said, a pass, and that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, even though it was pretty much shitting all over this figure. Be sure to subscribe and all that other good stuff, and keep watching for more videos. I'll be sure to have more reviews on Robot Damashii, MSIA, Banpresto, all that good stuff, and hey, even some other stuff as well. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.